Power plays off the frailty of youth. The educational system sets up its carrots and sticks in regards to compliance. Children are rewarded for good behavior primarily. No one gets in trouble for being stupid. There's never a bad question. Remember that one? And it's true, people should feel free to make mistakes. They should be free to grow without feeling put down, without any verbal and mental abuse. So you have the system playing God on earth. Parents are terrorized at their workplaces. Most people are vulnerable to becoming homeless. They're going paycheck to paycheck. Those not going paycheck to paycheck can quickly be brought down to earth with any sort of bad luck or unexpected outcome. Women are battered, girls are battered, then they become women. Girls are mentally battered down for identity. John Lennon had that famous tune, "Women are the N-word of the world." You've got stupid people who never put in the work for thought, for study, for reflection, for the hard work of thinking. They never did any of that, not one bit. They get hired to become influencers. That's why everything is so effing annoying, be it the newspapers, now internet newspapers. It's why we can only remember one or two great teachers, with the rest completely forgotten unless they were mean. Then we remember those teachers, too, to go with the few good ones. Young people are given a choice. Be free, be your own person, be rebellious. You will be stopped along the way. You will get cold water thrown at you. It's the free people. It's the free spirits who are the ones who are attacked. Conformity is all that is available to any of us if we want to participate in the public square. It's not even a public square. It isn't. No more. It's completely controlled and manipulated. We like to point out how authoritarian China and North Korea are, but the United States, the other Five Eyes, other countries outside of the Five Eyes, they're no different. They put up a facade of difference. Nothing we say matters. Nothing we do matters. Only the incompetent are allowed power. Only the sellouts. Only the powerful. Power is tautological. There's no proof to it. It's modern day Calvinism. They think they're elected. They're the elect of God. That's who these people think they are. So there's a certain breed of person called the sociopath who poses as anti-authoritarian, and it's just the same cycle is repeated over and over. They give the illusion that there's a difference between the narcissist on that one side, the psychopath, sociopath on the one side, and then the corresponding scum person on the other side. Hat tip to Britney Spears. That's a lovely, brilliant phrase that she has coined, the scum people. It sounds a bit more easy on the ears compared to scumbags. So a choice is given to the free, to the clever, to those who have open eyes and hearts. They either grow into narcissists or they somehow create their own bubbled universe and find a way to experience decades of life. The unfortunate truth of the matter is we are all going to die, including Earth, including the sun. That's the ultimate harsh truth. The inability to grok who we are and what we're doing here and why we can think and why we have our own personal memories and we're not sure whether they mean anything or if they're just there. It's just a product of how a brain works. Narcissism is the primary outcome for most of us. The absolutely most frustrating aspect of that is if one avoids narcissism, they must find a way to avoid insecurity, feeling meek, being in ruts, having no self-worth. I've got 3 tunes. Johnny Cash at perfect pitch. I did 2 songs by him, but I don't really want to talk him up so much. I'll just play those tunes by him. Got Man in Black, and I Walk the Line. Now, the one I want to talk about is the 3rd song I did, the singer, Phil Collins. I made a connection, a pattern between Phil Collins and Lionel Richie. So you look at them, or even the band Yes. I'll throw in the band Yes. And Frank Zappa, I can throw in more people. Jeff Lynne. I wanted to mention Jeff Lynne of ELO, David Gilmour of Pink Floyd, and Paul McCartney of the Beatles. So what you basically have are when those people were not Howard Stern. Throw the young Howard Stern in there. So when you have younger entertainers, artists, however you want to refer to those people, I mean, Howard Stern, is he an artist? Maybe when he was younger, I think he was. When he would go on Letterman, he was quite charming. He hit a tipping point where narcissism took over. Looks like I'm in a talkative mood and will be able to pound out more than I thought I would. It's just after 7 a.m. I had my orange juice and I'm now drinking coffee. I do routines or else I go off the rails. I'm trying not to log on to the internet. I'm working on the computer. I'm trying to avoid going through the social media routine while it's still early. See, this is a problem with New Year's Eve resolutions. They don't mean much after a full night's sleep, so each day is a thing in itself. So perhaps every day should be a new year, a new day. With internet addiction, I tend to wake up the next day bubbling with ideas. I spent so much of my life as a student in mode of reading, thinking, reflecting, talking. So that went on for myself from basically birth to when I hit a rut, when I was thrusted into the internet. I remain on the internet because my strategy is to reveal to anyone fortunate enough to hear my voice there, for you to recognize that I'm offering it up. One opinion, one angle, one credentialed. I do have some credentials, and I've proven myself over years as a thinker. I've proven myself as honest. I've proven myself as talented. Is that narcissism? I don't think so. I've got autism. I recognize I have autism. I'm not giving any accomplishments credit to my name, my social security number, my this or that, my stamp collection. The stamp collection. I feel that I'm just borrowing those stamps. Now, a lot of it, I worked hard to save stamps, to salvage stamps, but I'm not going to be here indefinitely. So eventually, those stamps will end up in the hands of other people. Now, hopefully, they don't just end up in some hot back room somewhere and get destroyed. We're all on borrowed time. That's the craziest part of all this. There's no escape. There's no way out of this place. We're going to come back reincarnated, but we're not going to remember who we were. If you little kids remember who they were, then they forget. By the time they're 10, it's over. 5 or 10, they forget. It's over. So what good does it do, even if we could prove reincarnation? There's no way to prove that that consciousness was the same consciousness. There's no way, there's no connection. It's as if we have spiritual debt carried over into the next lives, but we don't have the ability to go back to those past lives to correct what was going on way back then when we had different skin, we had different arms, different everything. We're talking about the essence of a time and place. The time and place I think we are now in is called nothing ever changes for the better. There's no such thing as positivism. There's no progression towards any greater situation. There's no dialectic. There's no debate. There's no nothing. All of this nothing, which has had a facade of something, has crumbled. The fourth wall crashed. It's gone. There's now no difference, not one bit. There's no separation between the common slob, for example myself, and the rich and famous, and the famous singers, the famous comedians, the famous engineers, the famous, name anyone who's famous. There's no longer any separation. Authority in itself has crumbled. It dissolved. The way this works is that we can only really work on ourselves. We're not allowed to participate in social structure. The only way you can, and I already went through that at the beginning, you have to comply. You have to give away your autonomy, your sovereignty as an entity. You have to give that away in order to have power. I decided that I would stand up, that I would count my voice against military, against police, against politics, against the politicians, against the corporations, against the rich, against totalitarian governments, against all hypocrisy. I do believe that everyone should have the right to food, shelter, and education. So the only possible solution is that everyone is given a basic livelihood with housing. The incentive remains to work because only a few people, I bet, like myself, can go through life being poor and not even realize it. I'm poor, and I'm not going to listen to people who say, "You're poor. You're not poor." It's like, F you, I'm poor. I may not be destitute, but all this mumbo jumbo about you're in the richest country, you're in this, blah, blah, all those were lies. One might as well have grown up in England or France, anywhere. There's nothing special about our country. There is, to go into little details, we got great music. We're a big country. We've had a lot of talent funneled through here. We've had some great people. Now, I woke up today and I was thinking about Phil Collins because I have the Genesis song on repeat in my head. I'm still humming it along. I think it's Earworms. I'm not sure. So Phil Collins, you look at him today, he's just a miserable, stupid old man. All alone, dying of cancer, just like the Pink Floyd song. So what happened was, when he was a member of a band, they sounded great. When Frank Zappa was working with the other bands, they were great. David Gilmour, Paul McCartney, when they were just one of the lads, it was all great. Lionel Richie and the Commodores, everyone liked that group. Everyone liked those songs. Cher, when Cher was young, she had great voice, she was funny, she was cute. These people hit a tipping point, and they're narcissists. And instead of them ever growing, ever poking their head, ever taking a chance, poke their head out there and speak some truth to power, they all failed. Michael Jordan, all these people are like bad people because they didn't do anything. They didn't even try. They didn't do the right thing and try. So narcissism is probably one of the biggest pitfalls, one of the biggest reasons why nothing ever changes for the better. People are conditioned into compliance. The only celebrity I can recall who I have full trust in would be Harry Belafonte. He's the only one I can think of. Now looking back at someone like an Ed Asner, I don't know why he popped into my head, but I'm just thinking about that lefty stereotype from Hollywood. I just no longer believe in any of that. I don't believe in the Democratic Party. Democrat Party? Damn, I don't even know what they're called anymore. That was one of those things they would pound us with, divide and conquer. They kept calling them demon rats. They're Democrats. Yet democracy, democratic, is the name of our political system, the facade of such. The basic point is the Republican Party is more open than the Democratic Party. The Republicans are obviously not open because you have to be a rich bastard to win their nomination. For the Democrats, you can't win nothing from nobody. Even when Bernie Sanders was the top candidate, the obvious choice, in both 2016 and 2020, he did not win. And they cheated in 2020. That was pure cheating. It shouldn't be allowed. So basically, we're told that this is a free country, that it's democratic, that we're free, but it's actually the opposite. And then what you also have are COINTELPRO informants all over the internet. There's no democracy through internet. There's no democracy through life, through work. There's very minimal freedom at all. Hollywood's dead. Hollywood is done. They suck. There's nothing special about any of them. In fact, the people acting in Hollywood are worse actors than college students who are trying it out, some of them. I bet I could act at this point. I hit some point, I don't know when, maybe a couple years ago, but my confidence just started going through the roof. So I guess I need to practice roof, and try to see where that spit's building up to create a lisp. But there are tricks. I came up with some editing tricks. I worked a little harder on those new songs to share. It's now 7:25. I'm not going to edit anything except big gaps in my improvised talk here. I am going to get to the final point in which I try to tie it all together. I'm saying when those guys went, I guess I already said it, when those guys went from part of a band, when they went from being artists